The following is intended for mature audiences only. Discretion is advised.
What's up, besties? This is episode 41 day at a time of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes, and I am still the second part of that title. We are on day, who cares, of this quarantine, and I just want to fart inside of a Tupperware container because I am that bored. I don't know what to do with my life. I am changing clothes just to change the monotony in my life. I have become an All-American Rejects Move Along music video. It's insane. But yeah, dude, it's been really weird. I really hope that you guys are doing well and you're staying safe. Just a couple things up top before we get started. I just wanted to let you know that on April 24th, I will be doing a live stream for Conundrum Stages. I'm going to be playing some music, and it's going to be really fun. All you got to do is just follow at conundrum_stages on Instagram. And on April 24th, I will be on their live stream. So come out, sing along, and make it a little less awkward that I'm sitting in my bedroom playing music alone. Also, a really cool announcement, Childlike at Best is now a part of the Geek Bro Network, which is Nary Signs' podcast network. I am so thrilled to be a part of the Geek Bro podcast network. So make sure to go to geekbro.net to check out all of the amazing podcasts. There's so many funny and nerdy podcasts, from What's Up Bro to Mount Geekmore and so many more. Moving on, this is the first Quarantine Nick episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes, my first Quarantine Nick special. And this week my guest is one of my best friends, Jerry Lopez. This is Jerry's second time on the podcast, so it was a little bit different this episode, but we did talk a lot about what we're doing during quarantine right now. We talked a little bit about fitness and exercise, because that's like his whole thing right now. Also talked about a bunch of different foods that we're really excited to have once this quarantine is over. And it was just a fun conversation all around. I really think that you guys are going to enjoy this episode. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Jerry Lopez. Were you able to find anything fun in your pantry to review?
No. Yeah, I don't really have much. My family's really basic, so they just have like Captain Crunch and...
You're talking to a dude who has a Captain Crunch t-shirt on right now. So, I mean, so how's this whole thing been treating you?
I guess kind of, it's been beneficial, but it's also been, at the same time, not.
Yeah. Beneficial in what way, though?
So, I think I've been, in some ways, more productive than usual. I was able, literally the first week of kind of the shutdown, I finished my nutritional coach course, so I was able to get my certification on that.
Okay.
I've also just been, I have nothing to do. So I've been trying to be a bit more active. Typically, my activity will be the gym, and then I'll just have to go to work. Yeah. But because now I'm not working, I can go to the gym, and then later on in the day, I'll take walks. Today, I did some ab exercises today, which I never do. I never isolate abs like that, so it hurts. Yeah. Because I haven't done it in forever. But I've just been able to be more active and kind of work towards my cutting right now fitness goal a bit more. So my certification, my PlayStation pretty much just sits in my apartment. So I've actually now had time to actually play all the games that I haven't been able to touch on it.
Man, let me tell you something. If this thing has done anything to me, it's been so eye-opening how much I really need to buy a game system, because before this thing, I was like, oh, I don't need a gaming console for anything. Like, I go out and do shows, and I have plenty of things. I'm never one to just sit down and play games, and now I have all the time in the world, and I can't even go to GameStop to get a freaking used Xbox, so it's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
So are you with your family, or are you at your apartment?
I'm with my family now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so That's cool. Let me not pay for food.
Yeah.
And I drove down.
How funny is that that I thought you were in Orlando. I mean, not that it would change much, but I thought you were in Orlando, and I was like, oh, well, we can do a Zoom or whatever. And the irony is that we're actually really close to each other right now, but and we can't even talk to each other.
Do it in the same room.
Yeah, we can't do it in the same room. It's really strange. But yeah, dude, talking about the whole thing about like the gym and everything. When you say you go to the gym, you mean like your garage, right?
Yeah. Well, when I had talked about it, I would go to the gym, like an actual gym, and then, on my regular day-to-day basis.
Right.
Now in the quarantine, I do have a gym in my garage. I've got a power rack. I've got a barbell, some adjustable dumbbells, and some plates. I actually ordered a few more plates that came in the other day. So I'm pretty much set. I've got some resistance bands. It's not my ideal setup, but it's a lot more than what most people have. And it's definitely enough where if this was all that I had, I would probably still be able to make, without a doubt, some pretty great progress. I mean, most of my workouts are based around free weights already. So it's not very difficult to change my normal gym routine to this now garage gym routine.
It's funny because I haven't really like publicly talked about it or anything, but I started a weight loss journey to try to get healthier and things like that, maybe back in January. And it's so strange how it only took 3 months for me to be like, oh man, like I really miss the gym. Like I never thought I would be that guy ever, but it just, it really sucks, man. And there's plenty of stuff that you can do at home. There's like so many YouTube videos that are like, dude, all you need's 2 bags of rice and a resistance band and you can freaking get jacked like Captain America. Okay, great. It's like step 1, eat the first bag of rice. You only really need 1 bag of rice. Like it's so stupid. Oh my gosh. There's this guy on YouTube that you talk about all the time. You're like, oh man, he's so great. He's so smart. And I watched his videos and really cut dude, definitely knows what he's talking about. But I absolutely...
Jeff Cavalier?
Yeah, but I absolutely hate his videos because he's always like, these are the 5 things you're doing wrong. And then the first 3 rules are just like things that don't have to do with anything. Like they're just like, all right, the first reason, you keep eating cake. The second reason, there's frosting on that cake. And it's just like, dude, I'm not eating cake at all. What are you talking about? Like, just get to rule number 3. And really, it's only 3 rules or 3 things that I'm doing wrong, Like, it's... I
mean, I see, yeah, no, I see what you mean. A lot of his videos, though, like, a good majority of the audience that he has, though, is people who are, like, oh, I can't seem to lose fat, but they're still eating that cake.
Really? That's so weird to me.
Yeah, man. It's a bit hard to look, like, outside of your kind of... I guess mindset, because me, when I watch these videos and they say something like any really fitness video, my general knowledge with nutrition and stuff is, carbs are a great source of energy. They're the body's preferred source of energy. And because now I know that, I kind of just assume that everybody knows it.
Sure.
But that's not the case. So
just for the listener to cut you off, by carbs, what we mean is not cake. We mean like the carbs in like brown rice and oatmeal and like boring carbs, not cake carbs.
Not the cake and the frosting. No.
Yeah.
But I overheard somebody talking at work, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I really want to lose all this fat. I just have to stop. I have to learn to stop eating carbs." And I'm like, "Well, that's not your problem. Your problem is you're taking in more calories than what your body is burning."
Right.
That's really the whole thing about fat loss. Because even cake is fine. You can still have the cake. Now, when it gets down to your goals, if you're looking to get to sub 10% body fat, that cake might not be the best option for you.
Right.
But if you're looking to just be generally lean, you can still fit cake and stuff into your diet.
Yeah.
So it's not so much of don't eat the cake, it's more of moderate the cake.
Well, I mean, you only have one birthday, and it's okay to have it once a year, even 4 times a year. The problem is, which, I'm in this position and was in this position more so 4 or 5 months ago, you can have that one slice of cake, but will you have the second and the third? And will you also keep going back day after day?
Exactly. The huge thing, and this is really what I live by, is the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
80% of your diet is clean, 20% you can have that bad stuff. If you take, let's say you have 4 meals a week.
Yeah, you've lost so much weight. 4 meals a week.
4 meals a day, and 7 times a week, that's 28 meals. 20% of that is about 5 or 6 meals. Those 5 or 6 meals are not going to ruin the 28 other healthy meals that you had.
Right.
So it's 80-20, just keep the moderation up.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's something that I love about you, especially now, because you're such a fitness guru and like a nutrition dude, and I always ask you for advice and a whole bunch of stuff, but you also you really know how to have fun with your diet. Like, for example, whenever we would go to theme parks, rest in peace, whenever we would go to theme parks, I would
text you the address for Mickey's funeral.
Bro, I was a clutch bitch when we went to theme parks together, because I would just order from me, dude. Like, I would have you order for me because you always knew, oh, this pizza is the best pizza at Via Napoli. This chicken dish is the best thing at the Floridian. You always knew exactly where to go. And even at your house in Orlando, you were always like, oh, I got this freaking candy corn popcorn. I'm like, dude, it's so crazy that you're like this like fitness nut, but you have like all these fun things in your house. But again, it goes back to that whole like, yeah, because I do like an 80-20.
Yeah, I mean, again, flexible dieting. The best diet is a diet that you can adhere to.
Yeah.
If you can't adhere to that diet, you're not really going to make any progress. Or if you do make the progress, you're not going to be able to keep it. That's why some people, keto works great.
Yeah.
But for some people who love carbs, like I love carbs. I can't give up pasta or rice or anything, Sure, you'll lose all that weight with keto, but at the end of the day, was that just a diet for you? Because once you come off that diet, all the weight's going to come back like that, The best diet is something that you can add to. You know what before my ab workout today, I had a freaking Cadbury egg.
Okay.
You can fit this stuff in, but now that I had that Cadbury egg, I do, like, I'm very specific. Like, I track my macros, so like I know what that took away from carbs and my fats, so I just now have to plan around that for the rest of the day.
Right. So what recommendations do you have? We're already in this whole fitness and nutrition thing, but what advice do you have for people that are at home and can't do much, or think that they can't do much? You
really just have to get creative. Time under tension is a huge thing. So if you're doing time under tension, is essentially what it sounds like, how long that muscle is under tension. So if you're doing a push-up, take it a bit slower. Maybe do a 4-second descent into the push-up and then a 4-second lift-off. When you're squatting, 3 seconds down, pause for 3 seconds, and then you could jump back up, and then 3 seconds down again. The muscles don't understand weight. Your muscle isn't going to go, this isn't a 45-pound plate, I'm not going to do anything. Right. Muscles, they speak a language of tension. Really what's going to force that muscle to grow or to adapt or anything is the amount of tension and stress the muscle is placed under. Now, is it going to be harder to eventually progressively overload with time under tension? A bit harder than just being able to slap 5 pounds onto the bar. Yeah. But for the meantime, it's something doable. I've been seeing people buy those like water jugs for the water dispensers that you might have in office buildings or at home. They're like $6, $7 at Walmart, and they've been filling them with water. I think someone weighed it. A full water jug is about 41 pounds, and you can grab 2 of those and do some split squats. Doing a press with them is going to be a bit harder, but Yeah,
you can also drink the water. That's really beneficial.
You can do that too.
Yeah, water is very good for you. You should have at least. I I have a little over 1 gallon to 2 gallons a day, which is probably a lot, but, you know, that's something I read online about, like, your height and your weight, and this is how much water you should drink, so I drank that much, and now I'm just used to it, but 1 gallon a day doesn't hurt anyone, I don't think. I'm not a scientist. I have no idea. This could be like the worst decision. You might drink 1 gallon of water and get water poisoning. I don't know, but I really don't know what's going on.
It depends on your size.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like when it comes to fitness and dieting and all these kinds of things, the thing that I've learned is that every body is different. In the sense of everybody's different, but also everybody is different, you know, because you really just have no clue. Like, for example, you just touched on it. Keto can work for someone, and for that person, it's sustainable for the rest of their lives, you know, and then for the other person, it's like, no, dude, I need carbs. I need my pasta. I need brown rice. You know, that's the only way I can survive. And that's totally fine. You just have to figure out what works for you, that kind of a thing. Let's talk about something more along the lines of this show, I guess. You know, obviously you're not working out all day, so like what are you doing to pass the time?
My workouts are like an hour-ish, hour and a half.
Yeah.
After that, I try and walk.
I do the same.
You know, around my neighborhood, do about a lap or two, and then after that, it's really just PlayStation. I'll hop on my PlayStation. I'll hop on Disney Plus or Netflix. There isn't much really to do.
Yeah, I know.
So I try and find small things to occupy the time. I didn't bring my instruments, but I'm lucky. I did leave a guitar here before I moved.
That's good.
I do have a guitar, so I've been playing that. So, you know, working on music is something I've also been passing the time with. Yeah,
that's good. What have you been watching on Netflix and Disney Plus?
I've been trying to finish season 3 of Sabrina.
Okay.
Because I have not finished that yet. Disney Plus, I have to watch Onward because that recently went up.
Yeah. I still haven't seen it.
I have to check that out. I've been watching Gordon Ramsay Uncharted, I think it is.
Yeah. It's where you see Gordon Ramsay do on Uncharted. He plays Uncharted on PlayStation.
Yeah. he plays the whole trilogy.
And it's just him cursing the whole time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's really what I've been doing on Disney Plus. Not much.
No recommendations?
Not really. You know, everybody's telling me to watch Tiger King, and I don't want to.
Dude, that right there is the reason why I haven't seen it. Because everybody talks about it. Like, I don't freaking care about Carol Baskin. I don't care about any of these people. You know, I'm sure I will watch it at one point, but who knows, man? There's always that show that everyone's talking about, and then, you know, somebody finds it later on. I'm sure Breaking Bad was like that for a while, you know?
That's kind of how it was for the first season of Stranger Things with me.
Yeah.
Like, everybody talked about it, and because everybody talked about it, I didn't want to watch it.
Right.
I eventually did watch it, and I was like...
Right.
You know?
Well, with Stranger Things, I can see why you felt that way, because the reason why I think Stranger Things made such a big splash its first season was because it truly felt like a show that people discovered. You know, it wasn't something that was highly advertised. It was the first thing on Netflix original that wasn't Orange is the New Black or House of Cards, where there's billboards and there's commercials everywhere and everyone's talking about it and that kind of stuff. It was just like this really slow burn. So sure, I think after the first month, maybe month and a half after it came out, that's probably when you heard about it. And that was when Hot Topic and all these other stores started getting their t-shirts, and you were just like, what is the point? Like, this is dumb. From what I understand, you came around, like you liked the show, so.
Yeah, I enjoy the show. Season 1, I was kind of with. Season 2, same thing. Absolutely love season 3. Season 3 was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's the best.
I'm not as crazy as everybody else seems to be with it.
Yeah, you're also not 14, so it's okay. You don't have to go crazy about it. It's not made for you to go crazy about it. It's made for you to just watch it, and that's it.
You know which show I have been really into, though? It's on Amazon. Which one? Have you seen The Boys?
I haven't seen it yet. I need to.
Dude, it's phenomenal.
That's what I'm hearing.
It's only like 8 episodes.
Right.
It's one of the few shows that like I finished and I was like, I need season 2 now.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, man. I was hearing about it as it came out, like pretty instantaneously how much people liked it. But I don't have Amazon Prime Video, so it's one of those things where like once I do get Amazon Prime, once I do pull the trigger, I'll watch a bunch of different shows. Like I'll watch The Boys, and I'll watch Fleabag, and I'll watch Jack Ryan or Jim with a Gun, whatever you want to call it. All those kinds of things, you know?
I thought that was a show for a second. I was like, oh, I haven't heard that one.
No, Jack Ryan is the show with John Krasinski, and everyone just calls it Jim with a Gun. Not everyone. I call it that, and I say everyone calls it that, but... This episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes is brought to you by Real Good Foods. I am so excited to announce that Real Good Foods has launched their very first dessert item, ice cream. Real Good ice cream is the first ever super premium better for you ice cream. It's extra creamy, so there's no icy or chalky texture like other light ice creams, making it a real ice cream experience with real ingredients. Only 180 calories and 4 grams of sugar per serving. Real Good ice cream is sweetened by using allulose, which isn't like regular sugar. It's a naturally occurring rare sweetener found in figs, dates, and maple syrup. Ultimately, it has 1/10 the calories of cane sugar, which means it won't spike your blood sugar levels. Real Good ice cream comes in a variety of flavors, and starting today, they can be found at realgoodfoods.com and The Vitamin Shop. And guess what? Real Good Foods is giving all Childlike at Best listeners a discount code that'll make us all scream for ice cream. Visit realgoodfoods.com, choose as many of your favorite items, and use promo code BESTIE at checkout. That's BESTIE at checkout to receive 15% off your order. Real Good Foods. Keep it real. So the podcast is about childhood, and I wanted to cover a couple of things that we may have not covered the first time that you came here. You know, I know that you did a bunch of like drama club stuff growing up. Do you have any stories or memories from that other than the the story that you had about you and this girl kissing and then her kicking you in the nuts? You remember that?
Yeah.
And then people being like, are you guys brother and sister?
You guys related?
No, dude.
The only one that comes to my head, drama club was, as the name implies, very dramatic.
Yeah, no way.
It was my sophomore year. We did a Little Shop of Horrors, and the I won't name any names, but very nice, sweet kid played Seymour, and he was again a very nice, sweet kid. So if he cursed, it was like he just opened up a gate to hell.
Yeah.
Like everybody was like,
right.
So we all decided to just play a prank, and right before one of the shows, we're all hanging out for a good like 2 hours straight in the dressing room. And he came in, he was like, hey guys, I think we should rehearse some lines. And we were like, all right, yeah, just give us a second. And then I don't even remember how it turned into it, but eventually we all started just spreading around that he came into the dressing room, and he was like, yo, if you guys don't get out there and rehearse some fucking lines with me right now. And everyone believed it.
Right.
And everyone was so shocked.
That's so stupid.
They were like, oh my God. Everyone was like, did you say that? He was like, no, I swear I didn't. And then we started telling people that he came into the dressing room and he started beating us up with like broomsticks.
My favorite thing, and again, I won't name names, but my favorite thing was that one of our friends at one point, he was doing a joke with us, and he goes, hey, Mike, can I borrow your glasses? And I go, yeah. And he puts them on, and then he takes them off, and he goes, Jerry, you want to know what happened the last time I took off my goddamn glasses?
I wish I had the video of that, because you were crying.
No, dude, I remember
we went on vacation.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell the story, yeah.
We went on vacation, and we were all just chilling in the bedroom, and he said it just, like, randomly, and you were in the chair, just gone.
Yeah. Dude, that's the thing. It's like, when I laugh at something really hard, I love laughing. Like, I like laughing a lot. I don't know. It's difficult. It's one of those things where, like, most people, they always have these, like, oh, that's the hardest time I've ever laughed. Like, I have a lot of those times in my life where it's just like, the handful are only, like, my favorite times. But I do have a lot of handfuls of times where something has made me laugh so hard, and I'm just, like, done for, like, the next 5 to 10 minutes until it's just, like, never funny again. Maybe that's why I laugh so hard. I just laugh it all out, like, completely, and then I never laugh at it ever again. I don't know what it is, but yeah, there's a lot of those times. Like, there was one time, we've talked about this on the podcast before. I didn't talk about it with you, but there was one point where you and I and Brandon were doing a short film, and I don't even remember what the thing was about at all. I just remember that we played friends in it, and for some strange reason, I thought it would be funny if all our lines were just talking about cheese and, like, different kind of cheese puns and things like that. All this to say, there was one take that we did that was, like, the serious take where we weren't allowed to use any cheese names. And I think it was something about like, my character was sleeping with your girlfriend at the time or something like that, I think. And and we did the scene, and you were like, yeah, man, I just heard that you were sucking another dude's dick or whatever it is. And you pulled a gun on me. And that was, like, one of the hardest times I've ever laughed as well. Yeah, we found out what would happen if someone actually pulled a gun out on me, and that is laugh hysterically.
I was like, how do I break up with this girl? And then I asked you to pretend to be her.
That's what it was. That's what it was. That's even funnier. No, I just heard that you were sucking another dude's dick. Because, yeah, that actually does make more sense, because I remember you screaming those words exactly, and now it makes more sense as to why you would say sucking another dude's dick. So, yeah, now that makes more sense.
I think Norman has the video still.
If he does, man, please send it to us.
I have to ask him.
Even if it only gets, like, 35 views on YouTube, it's worth something. At least people can be like, wow, this kid really thought that was funny, huh? You know, like, like, if that. But yeah, here's another time that I've laughed really hard. I mean, the only reason why these stories are tough for me to say is because we've talked about them already. So, like, another time that I laughed really hard was, I think, the day that I met you. We were at this girl's house, and we were using her computer, and we were just talking. And while we were talking, you decided to go on Microsoft Paint and start drawing. And you started drawing Batman. And I said to you, man, you know what would be really funny? It's because you drew the cowl and, like, the face and everything. I was like, you know what would be funny? If his body was a dick and balls. And you were like, that's an amazing idea. And so you started drawing this. And then we, like, in like Microsoft Paint graffiti mode, we put Batman on my dick on the wall, and then we set it as this girl's wallpaper. And that was super funny. And then also you drew another thing that was Batman having butt sex with the Joker. And that made me laugh really freaking hard too. And you set that as her screensaver. And what I think is super funny about that story is that if you know the person we're talking about, it's probably still her wallpaper and screensaver because she doesn't know how to fix it.
I don't even know if we told her. Like, I think we just left it there, and then she opened up her laptop later.
Yeah, part of the reason, yeah. I mean, it was so funny, like, because I was laughing really hard while it was being made, and then the payoff of seeing her open it was even funnier. I don't think we even got to see her experience the screensaver. It's just one of those things where like it's funny. It's only in your imagination, so like you like, because I never actually saw what happened, but in my imagination I imagined something really funny. I don't know, man, there's a lot of really funny stuff that happened with that person, like one I don't know if you were there, but there was one day that we went to her house, and I went to their guest restroom, like just to go to the bathroom, and then I went to wash my hands, and the sink was flooded, right? And it was just a huge, like, tighty-whitey underwear with a poop stain on it. And I just started dying laughing. Much like I am right now. And then I hear Brandon's voice from the background. Well, Mike found it. And then I'm just dying even harder. I was like, how am I supposed to wash my hands? It was really funny. Anyway, that's a really funny story from what I can remember. This is the first podcast we've done in quarantine, so this is going to be a really strange thing because we've never reviewed cereal via Zoom or via Skype or anything. So I have no idea how we're going to do it or what we're going to do. So the thing that I asked you for was just to get something from your pantry, and we would just figure it out from there. You said you had Captain Crunch?
In my pantry, I've got, like, just basic Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
I've got Frosted Flakes and Cheerios and stuff like that. Actually, I also have Lucky Charms. Now has Lucky Charms Frosted Flakes.
Nice.
So instead of, like, the whole grain, just like plain cereal that comes in Lucky Charms, it's Frosted Flakes and then the Lucky Charms marshmallows, and it's pretty great.
At least half of it is great. But you know what? You actually came up with a great idea that I would rather do right now, which is that you wanted to talk about a cereal from your childhood, right?
Yes.
So I say we just talk about that, and then we review it like it was here anyway, because at the end of the day, we can't review it together. So let's just pretend like we're reviewing it.
We can't review it at all because it doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Let's review it from memory.
Yeah. When The Lion King came out, or I don't know if it was when The Lion King came out or if it was Lion King 2 or like a re-release of The Lion King. I don't know what it was.
I want to say it was for The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride that this was made.
I think so. Because when did Lion King 97? Was that when it came out?
No, the original Lion King came out in 94.
Oh, okay. It definitely wasn't for the release of The Lion King. It was probably Lion King 2 then.
Yeah.
But Kellogg's partnered with Disney. They made Mud and Bugs. And essentially
it came with a DVD.
It was Lucky Charms. It was chocolate. Yeah. It came with, hold on, what is this? A read-along DVD inside.
Oh, man, a DVD that makes you read? That's freaking stupid.
Yeah. It's got stories, songs, vocabulary, and you can learn Monsters, Inc. in 5 languages. Look at that.
Wow, that's awful.
But it was chocolate Lucky Charms, and then the marshmallows were just bug shapes. And then when you would pour the milk turned into chocolate milk. And I would absolutely destroy boxes of this cereal because I loved it so much. And Kellogg's, if you are listening, please make this cereal again. Because, my God, it was...
Well, if you do know anything about this podcast, that's that Kellogg's is a sponsor of Childlike at Best, which by that, I mean that I like them and I buy their products. And usually whenever I speak to them, it means that I tweeted them repeatedly and they didn't get back to me. So hopefully Kellogg's is listening and they will remake Mud and Bugs. That'd be great.
I think it was a huge missed opportunity to not make this again with the Jon Favreau Lion King.
That's a good one, yeah. You can also make it with Guardians of the Galaxy. Just make I Am Groot cereal, and then underneath the tree trunk is just a bunch of Mud and Bugs, right? You can do that.
There you go. If they release something like that for Guardians 3, you should sue.
My suit would be so stupid. They're like, how much is he suing for? It says a sponsorship for his podcast. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I would sue them just to sponsor me. Yeah, man. So did you ever use the DVD that was inside the box?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. Here's
a good question. Did you or your family ever use the AOL minutes that was given to you in a box of Cheerios?
No.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I did. There was a computer game. I don't know if you remember this. This might be a little bit before your time. There was a video game that came inside of Chex Mix, and it was basically Doom, but you were like a little piece of Chex Mix or whatever, and you would walk around with a laser gun shooting aliens, and it came inside of a box of Chex Mix. That's pretty crazy. That was a good game. That was really fun, especially being a kid that wasn't allowed to play any games that were violent or watch PG-13 movies until I was 18. Like, you know, it was pretty awesome.
Most of my computer games were educational, at least when I was a kid, like a really young kid.
Same here, dude.
I was really bad at multiplication.
Same here.
When I was a kid. So my mom would force me to sit down and play this one game where I think it was a frog.
Mm-hmm.
And this frog, from what I remember, he was in this dungeon and he was trying to escape this dungeon. I don't know what this frog did to get himself thrown into a dungeon.
That's so stupid.
But yeah, he needed to blow up walls to escape, and the walls would have multiplication equations. So I would have to solve the multiplications in order to blow up these walls.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
That is so bad, dude. You know what that reminds me of? I think I could top the worst game of all time right now. So, you know, I have to reveal a little bit about myself in order to get this to make sense. But when I was 12, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And so when I went to the hospital and they did the whole thing or whatever, some people from the church came and helped me out. And at one point, I remember someone from the church gave me a computer game. They're like, oh, this is really cool. It's a video game about diabetes. And I was like, this doesn't seem fun at all. And so basically, you're like this little kid who goes around, and it's basically like Super Mario Brothers, except like you have to choose what food you're gonna eat. So it's like you eat an apple and it's like, that has too much glucose in it, and you're like, no, like this sucks. Like, I had to eat the piece of chicken. Like, you know, it was so bad, dude. It was the worst game of all time. I can't even think of anything else that happened in the game because I don't think there was anything more creative than what I just said. So
it was like the Oregon Trail, but for diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Oregon Trail to the freaking pancreas. It was so stupid. Oh my gosh. This episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes is brought to you by the Crunch Cup. Save time in the morning by taking your cereal on the go. Simply add cereal to the inner cup, milk into the outer cup, screw on the lid, and you're ready to crunch. Eat cereal in the car, at your desk, or anywhere else you want. Go to thecrunchcup.com to purchase what I think is a genius invention and use the discount code MikeValdes10. That's Mike, M-I-K-E, Valdes, V-A-L-D-E-S, the number 10, to save 10% off of your order. You can also sign up for their monthly giveaway to win a year's supply of cereal. So what are you waiting for? Go to thecrunchcup.com and use promo code MikeValdes10 to save 10% off of your order. The Crunch Cup. It's better than spooning. You said you're still writing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's move on a little bit into that. Have you written new songs as of late?
I've written some like verses, some choruses, nothing complete. I think the record itself is done.
Yeah.
So I'm not as stressed to write like full tracks, but I'm not sitting down and I'm like, okay, I need to write a song for this album. I'm kind of just letting it come as it does. So if something pops into my head, I'll go ahead and I'll write it down. I'll play around with it. If I get stuck, I'll just put the guitar down because I'm not in any rush to write anything. I'm mainly right now focused on tweaking the songs that I currently have lined up for this next record.
Yeah. And you're already in pre-production for it, from what I can...
Yeah.
From the last time we talked, you're already in pre-production.
Yeah. One of the tracks is finalized but unmastered.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's going to be about... I think that record's going to be 12 tracks.
That's awesome, man. So just to wrap things up a little bit, I thought of this really fun question for you. What's the first thing you're going to do once this thing is over?
Oh, man. Other than work, because I'm poor now.
Yeah, same here.
There's a bake shop in Orlando that makes the greatest cookie you will ever have in your life. And this is going back to what we first talked about, where while I am very huge on health, I do eat like crap.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Moderation.
Yeah.
The cookies are a half pound.
All right, that's too much.
It's called Gideon's Bakehouse.
Okay.
And they top the cookies with sea salt.
Yeah.
So like it brings out the sweetness even more.
Sure.
And it's just absolutely ridiculous. And every month, or mostly every month, they'll have like a special cookie. So me not being in Orlando right now, I now have to go back. They're still open.
Yeah.
However, I'm just not over there to go.
Yeah, that actually sounds like the equivalent to that's here is Night Owl Cookies. Have you heard of them?
I have not.
Night Owl Cookies is in Miami, and they deliver. So if you want something like that, check out their IG. They have some crazy cookie porn. They do like cereal cookies and a bunch of different things. They always have a cookie of the week or whatever. They've done like Stranger Things inspired stuff, all kinds of stuff. Just check them out on Instagram. Not a paid ad, though. If you want to sponsor me, Night Owl Cookies, please do. I would love that more than anything. But yeah, dude, what about this? Because you're a theme park dude. What's the first thing you're going to do once those theme parks open?
I was actually just about to say, the second they open, I have to visit my favorite park, Epcot.
Dude, I think if I went to Epcot with you the day that it opened and we went to Viennapoli and ate pizza, I would probably cry. Like, I'm not kidding. I was close to crying, and they had been open for years. Like, it's something where, like, I feel like if I went, I would cry and be like, oh my gosh, I thought I would never have this ever again. And just start,
it's like the best pizza.
It's so ridiculous. Good. It's so good, man.
Definitely needs to have that. But right now, actually, by the time they open back up, honestly, it's going to be over. I was able to go to their Flower and Garden Festival, which is like just a smaller version of their Food and Wine.
Yeah.
And there is this one stand that is absolutely amazing called the Honey Bistro. And they've got this honey mascarpone cheesecake that is out of this world. They've got this, I think it's like a wild rice mixture, but they incorporate honey into it somehow. I don't remember how. That's really good. And then there is a peach honey slushy that's really good.
Wow.
And then they also have a chicken flatbread with like this honey drizzle over it. A lot of the food there is good, but that one stand is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Epcot.
I love that. You're not going to give Universal some love?
Not every day.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. You work there. So
yeah,
you don't miss Butterbeer at all.
That actually, yeah, you know, I might give Butterbeer a go. I might, once they open up. I have yet to ride the new Hagrid's ride.
Really?
So I might check that out.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I still haven't ridden it.
Dude, yep. I think once those theme parks open back up, I think it's worth it for me to go back up there and for us to go to the theme parks together.
It would have to be a day where we wake up like super early, but Alyssa had me, she had me wake up at like 6:45 or 7. It was like 6:45, I think.
Yeah. And
we went to Hollywood Studios the day before they shut down for everything. And we were able to ride the new Star Wars ride, Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
Because I've been to as much as I love them, I've been so many times, I can't really justify waiting super long for rides anymore because I've kind of done them all. Even new rides, I'm like, I don't really there's so many other rides that you can get on. I don't want to spend most of my day waiting online for this.
Right.
But we got there when the park opened, before the park opened, and we were able to get on Rise of the Resistance. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
I hear there's at least 2 or 3 audible gasp moments where people audibly are like, "Oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know? So I heard there's 2 or 3 of them. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So Norman, I remember when Galaxy's Edge first opened up, Norman sent me a text and he was like, hey, how much is a Hollywood Studios ticket? Because I want to go to Galaxy's Edge. And like it had just opened up. So I was like, buddy, good luck. I was like, listen, I would wait a bit before going.
I was planning on waiting a year before I went.
It's not as crazy anymore. So now's
definitely not now. It's wide open right now.
They're like the Smuggler's Run, which is a Millennium Falcon ride.
Yeah.
That, I mean, the longest I've waited for that is maybe like 40 minutes, if. So it's definitely not as crazy. However, if you are looking to ride Rise of the Resistance, you have to get there before the park opens because it's not a line that you wait on. You open up your app, and at, I think, 8 o'clock, they open up a waiting, like a virtual line, and you have to mark your place on the virtual line, and they only have a certain amount of spots.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to wake up early to get there for that. But other than that, Galaxy's Edge isn't like super crazy packed or anything anymore.
Yeah. I heard there's a lot of really good food options there too. I'm hearing a lot of good things, but I definitely want to do that. I think we should plan a trip in 2021 or whenever this thing is over, you know? Because, I mean, hopefully it's before then, but theme parks opening back up, like, and God only knows about their cruise lines and things like that opening back up anytime soon.
Oh,
so,
God,
yeah, it's going to be insane. I mean, even Jungle Cruise, the movie, has been pushed another year because the word cruise is something that's, like, weird right now, you know? But anyway, man, this has been so fun. Quarantine or not, I've had such a blast, man, with you. Where can people find you?
On Instagram at Jerry Lopez Music.
Heck yeah, man. And for me, you can find me on Instagram at Mike Valdes, on Twitter at I am Mike Valdes, and you can go to whoismikevaldes.com to find out the answer to that question. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening to our quarantine episode. There's going to be a lot more like this to come. Unfortunately, this is the new normal for a little bit, but you know what? We're going to be okay. It's going to be fine. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe. Tell all your friends so we can grow this family. Wash your hands, besties. I love it.